Hey guys, Rob here, day one of Gamescom 2015, and I'm joined by Danny.
What's up?
Hello, who's been to see Fallout 4.
Not a bad way to start your day.
Not a bad way to start, right?
No.
And you've got loads to say about it, right?
Yes, so I turned up at Bethesda's booth. We got to see a 25-minute exclusive extended Gamescom special gameplay demo, which was narrated by Mr. Todd Howard himself.
Oh.
So I basically went in with my phone and data mined the entire thing. So I'm just gonna tell you almost chronologically what happened.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So first up, they showed off the perks. They showed off basically what they called the perk chart. So when you start the game, you pick your special stuff, strength, perception, endurance, all that sort of stuff. They usually give you like 10 or so, and you feed them into the different categories.
Right, yeah.
Once you've done that, you can basically then unlock each letter, each tree has its own set of unlockables in that. So if
you can upgrade within it, right?
Yeah, well, if you put say 10 into strength right off the bat for whatever reason, you could unlock the 10th one immediately. You could unlock 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or the 10th endurance or strength perk immediately.
Yes,
so basically, they're encouraging you right off the bat that you're not only just getting the stats, you're also getting whatever extra perks. Those are upgradable, so there is 70 perks in total, and then they have ranks, so there's 275 different ones. So that's like bloody mess, and then like being able to like trick people with your voice, with your words, like I'm doing now. Come to Gamescom, it's great. Which was really cool. So it shows you that like there's a lot of like extra depth in terms of that, and right off the bat there's like an almost encouragement to, instead of just like picking a couple of perks like 2 or 3 like you did in the other games, you'll be able to do a bit more depth there. And one other thing about that which is interesting is that in the strength thing, they were like things you need strength for, like encumbrance first of all, like carrying items. That's important, you know, building things and whatnot. And then
because if you carry too many things that can weigh you down, you can slow down a little bit, right?
But one of the things they mentioned, which hasn't been in a Fallout game, was they showed a guy swinging a baseball bat in Vault Boy, like hitting a ball. So I think that maybe there's a mission in Diamond City where you actually have to swing and hit a ball, and your strength determines how far it is. So if you're a baseball player, if you're a Red Sox fan, you want to go to Fenway in the game, make sure your strength is high before you do it.
You also wanted to talk about the environment as well, right?
Yeah. So like one of the things,
a massive open world game, right?
Yes, and you know, like one of the things that came out of the initial reveal of the game was that like, oh, it's Fallout again. The animations are a little bit janky and all that. I really like how this game looks. So a bunch of feral ghouls poured out of a building, and generally this is like, oh, they'll be standing idling, and then they'll see you and run towards you. Like little touches. They all like poured out of windows. They like climbed in over windows and jumped down. One thing I will say is that the shooting with those animations is so much better. So obviously we're all used to like using VATS, slowing down the game. That had a lot of sort of barriers for gameplay with the last game. In this one, you can like use VATS, and like it doesn't pause time, it slows it down a bit. But what it also does, what the sort of improved shooting allows you to do is there's not so much of a reliance on VATS. And when these ghouls were coming towards the player in this demo, there was a lot of sort of extra play with what to do. So he was like shooting off arms, he was like shooting off legs, and then shooting off legs, they were on the ground, and then they like shot off 2.
Are they crawling after you?
Oh yeah, they're like crawling after you. Like,
amazing.
Shot arms off them, and he was just like, you know, jumping towards them like this.
Wow, you can be really sadistic with that.
Yeah, so that was super fun. You had your dog there as well. You could ask him to do commands like, you know, stay or like look around. He growled right before the ghouls turned up.
Right.
Sort of letting you know that.
Just a bit on the baseline gameplay. I mean, so we had to rely on VATS in Fallout 3 for like big open battles. Is that the same case here, or do you think they've improved on it?
Yeah, there was one big problem with the last, with all the games, and was most noticeable in New Vegas in the final levels, which was supposed to be the big massive battle on the Hoover Dam, was that the Fallout games have never been good with massive amounts of enemies, because VATS was you were so reliant on VATS, and you couldn't really shoot from the hip accurately. So one of the things they showed in this was the sort of classic Half-Life 3-way battle, where it's you against a bunch of raiders, but there were also ghouls involved.
Right,
and they had bunches of them, right? So they had like a lot of raiders up on the top, they had ghouls like climbing, coming for you, coming for them. Then they dropped in some Brotherhood of Steel guys, right? So it's like a 4-way fight now. When you're with the Brotherhood, the ghouls are going for them. The vertibird is also firing from up top, and they're like shooting the vertibird. And then this big behemoth turns up, like this massive mutant. So then it's like, in previous games, Fallout games, you couldn't do that, because you basically end up using VATS, sitting back, trying to get your VATS to go up again, and it almost turned into this kind of sort of weird board game where you were like reserving VATS and then going up shooting it. In this one, shooting dudes, vertebrates blown up, ghouls are attacking these people, like snipes the dude with the fat man, runs right in the back and gets the fat man, shoots the fat man down on those guys, behemoth, like it was just like oh right, okay, this is like what they've been trying to make for ever in Fallout, and
Yeah.
they've actually managed to do it this time, and it was so cool.
If that's emergent gameplay, if that's happening dynamically, then that's going to be absolutely fantastic. It might just be a set piece, but who knows, right?
I know this very much felt like it was a set piece. I think in terms of like maybe the backup came in, but they've said you can call in backup in the game, so I'm sure.
Right, okay.
Like even if it is like regardless, there are a couple of those in the old Fallout games. Like these instances did happen. So the ability that now you can get involved in massive firefights and not spend your whole time standing behind a rock and shooting over the top,
Right.
like really helps.
So tell me more about the open world and in terms of the loading screens and how easy it is to get around.
So it seemed like it was like no loading screens walking around. They did do a fade out, fade in when you went to the building, so I think perhaps that's still a thing.
Yep.
Hopefully small loading screens, but they didn't show you walking into buildings. Lots of like familiar things actually. The lockpick mini game was the same. The terminal hacking mini game was the same. So they've advanced lots, but there's still like sort of little touchstones there. Little changes to the interface though have sort of cropped up here and there. There's now a radio menu for weapons and for items, which I imagine are things that you can choose. So instead of having to dump back to your Pip-Boy all the time, if you want to swap from like a combat shotgun into a missile launcher, you can just go flick flick. You can do the same with putting in stim packs, presumably taking Rad away, which really helps. Another thing was that like bodies on the ground, usually you just go up and you hit A to loot. Now if you mouse over them, it tells you what's already there. So you can just take all and get them all, but it lets you know.
It sounds like they're streamlining it.
Yeah. You can let the dog do it. So you can like ask the dog. He like asked him to loot somebody, and like the voice came in. He said, "Check if there's anything good there." So maybe the dog only gets you weapons or stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, when you're walking around doing the lockpick stuff, he's like saying like, "Oh, I'll see if I'll hack this." So not only is the voice command, the narrated or talking protagonist a thing when you're in conversations, but also like walking around the game world, he's doing the sort of like Noel the North kind of like just like saying stuff that's happening when you're walking around, which actually worked pretty good. Another little thing I saw was that this is like super granular now. Like Rads, instead of it being a like a detriment to your health that's like taking it away, it actually takes some of your health bar. So there's like a red line that your health can't go past if you've got radiation sickness. Also, the crit thing was really cool. You've now got this basically. I'm not sure when it triggers. Is it like based on your skill or based on your weapon? But there is a crit button where you can like when it highlights in VATS, you can just go for a crit. Go for a critical attack. And one of the things I saw them do in the video was the dude was going around with just like a ripper or a baseball bat or something, and this raider comes up and it comes up crit, and he like animation like kicks him in the nuts, falls on the ground, and just baseball bat like boom on the head, which is cool. So like,
of course,
not only is there like all the like normal, you're just shooting people and their heads are just going turning into mulch, but they also had some like cool little death animations in there as well.
So apparently this game is like 400 hours big, basically. You can spend 400 hours playing this game, according to Bethesda.
Well,
Do you believe that's true from what you've seen?
Well, I saw 20 minutes, so I can say that it's at least 20 minutes long.
Confirmed.
Apart from that, I can't see.
20 minutes.
All I saw was the Lexington area. Obviously, this game is really big. What I will say is that as somebody who's a big fan of the series, who recognizes that there were some very fundamental problems for it in terms of definitely the shooting and definitely it's like the scale of battles it was trying to always mimic but never really making.
Yeah.
It was almost like when you're watching a theater, when you're watching a play, and there's like 5 people there and it's this massive dramatic thing that's happening that's supposed to signify like a loads more people there, and they're fudging it, and you sort of believe it because you want to believe it. Fallout was always like that, where you're like, yeah, I'm trying to believe there's this massive Hoover Dam battle, but it never felt like it. In Fallout 4, it felt like a big battle.
Amazing.
And that's really exciting.
Well, thank you so much, Danny, and for the latest on Fallout 4, stay tuned to GameSpot.